2nd of September 2025 from the kitchen table. This is the Irish Daily Mail. And TD calls for action over social media intimidation. How come no one's ever intimidates me? Huh? How come no one ever intimidates me? Can't wait to be intimidated. I love being intimidated. So anyway, watery owl, cowardly owl, washed up idiots. I don't know how we elect them, but we will keep electing them, and they'll keep electing them till they bring ruin to our country. Brian McMahon, political correspondent, a TD who suffered horrific abuse from online stalker, has called for tougher prison sentences on perpetrators. Well, the law is there, the same as it always was. It doesn't matter what source it is. I presume if you put up something on Facebook, it can be traced to you through your email address. It's up to the Gardaí to investigate. But don't forget, this TD is in the Dáil, and there is a serious problem with nuisance phone calls. Nuisance phone calls. I mean, they rang me one time and they threatened to come and send the guards to arrest me. They said they were the guards, and I pretended to know nothing, and they said they'd come up and take me away. And I said I'd do unmentionable things with a bucket of excrement, and they got thick. And then I insulted the prophet, and they got thicker again. And there was a great crack with them. But still, people shouldn't have to put up with that. There's not a week goes by that I don't go do calls. When I was in the Gardaí, we'd follow those up, and we'd solve them. It's easy. You just get on to headquarters and you get a report back whose phone it is. This fella won't do it. So he's a hypocrite. Now, Michael Carrigy, Fine Gael TD for Longford Westmeath. I know the fella, I know the kind of him. Oh, he's a typical old hack thing, Westmeath. Almost left politics after a man threatened to sterilise his children. So what do you do about it? Now, I agree. You have no right to come along and take it out on their children. Huh? Children mightn't join Fine Gael at all. They could join the Irish Freedom Party. So you can't really take it out. And she said, that wasn't a very nice thing now to say. But still, he's the law. And if he can't get the law investigated, what hope have you or I? The perpetrator, who also threatened another TD, walked away with a suspended sentence. So now we see that he was brought before the court. So what is he bloody talking about? Who appointed the judge that gave him a suspended sentence? Him or the like of him? What sort of a legal system is it that there wasn't a more stiffer penalty? See? What does he want? He makes the law. Oh, he's whinging. Did he ask the judge why he didn't do it? Judges aren't as inviolable. You can criticise a judge. You can write to him and ask him for an explanation. Mr. Carrigie's comments to the Irish Mail came after Taoiseach Simon Harris, the Duracell buddy of the same party, reported a threat to his family. We'll see what happened there. Made on social media over the weekend. How come they're not abusing me? There was a couple of bios from Dublin on the social media. Used to give me a bit, call me names and put up pictures of cows and everything. I investigated them. They were secret, and I have no contact with the Gardaí at all. None. Except to get a form filled for the tractor off the road or something. And yet I was able to identify and expose two people but one in Ballyfermot and one from Leixlip, who were given abuse online, and actually got another man to go up to one of their houses. And how come I could do that? All these things can be investigated. I don't know what. Maybe it's the modern guards can't do it. Weekend. In a statement, Mr. Harris said, "This weekend I received direct threats targeting my family. As a father," I'm amazed he actually managed that achievement. "I have very strong views and feelings on this, as you can imagine. I don't believe a word you say, Mr. Carrigy. I'd say you're telling lies. I wouldn't trust you with a dead hen, or any you people. breaking the law on the SEA directive every day of the week. And you're walking the economy into a hole and destroying industry and destroying businesses. Can't have a pub now, you can't pay the electricity bill. Come off it, don't give us that old bullish baloney. As a political leader, I find it unacceptable in every way. Let me be clear, threatening people, any person, is a crime. Well, go and do bloody something about it. And stop whinging in the paper. Oh, I might get a few more votes now. God, do you know what? The people of Longford, they give me a few votes. The people of Longford voted for him, and Longford town is like Somalia. There are only about half of the native people left. In fact, there was a crime committed a couple of years ago, and the guards put out a report to all the patrol cars that a shop was after being robbed. And the description was two white men and two locals. 2 white men and 2 locals. And they'll eat just around Longford going around old biddies as having their handbags robbed and everything else. Now, not all the migrants are criminals, I have to say that. They're not all criminals. But they're there anyway. They didn't go through the process I would have put them through. Anyway, that's the story there. So, he has strong feelings. Mr. Harris added, wait now, I don't want to confuse the two. This is Mr. Harris said that about crime. He has strong feelings. But Carrigy is at it as well. The two of them is in the one article. Mr. Harris added, threatening children is despicable. It is a line that no decent society should tolerate being crossed. What's decent about a society that's killing 600 of his unborn babies every year? What's decent about a society that destroys its environment? We have already 2 or 3 serious cases for the nuisance of your stupid wind farms where people are driven out of their homes and had to go to court and don't get that redress unless they have a serious problem. What's decent about it? What's decent? What's decent about having 27 or 8% of your population can't pay their electricity bill? They have some neck. Simon Harris has some neck to talk about decency. Fine Gael leader Mr. Harris has received social media threats before, and a bomb threat was phoned to his home where his wife and children live. Well, I'd leave the family out of it. But anyway, it's looking for notice. That's all they're doing, looking for votes. Protests have also been held outside his home. Proper order of protests. You're entitled to peaceful protest. You have no right to privacy in that area. In Mr. Carraghy's case, David Larkin and Ardnacassa Lawns, County Longford, made threats against the TD and his family between the 20th of January, 20th December 2021 and February 2022, middle of the COVID. Maybe he was sick about being locked down. How'd you lock down? I was locked down. Guards everywhere on the road. I was pretty angry. Now the people are all dying in the nursing homes now, all affected up here from the you know what. He ultimately received a 5-month prison sentence. Suspended! So that's not a sentence at all. Sure, a prison sentence is not served. It's only a cod. So they're all coming out of the jails in Dublin saying it's great. I know a few people were in jail. It's the best place ever you were. Suspended for 18 months on Larkin's own bond of £250. That's not much. €250. Wouldn't give you a good night. Would it give you a good night on the town? Well, it probably would if you had a meal as well. Not for 2, but. Speaking on the Mail yesterday, Carnegie called for the courts to take such cases seriously because anyone that has gone to the courts, it hasn't been taken seriously. No. People are being raped and killed and damaged. Nobody, and the guards aren't investigating half the crime. Not investigating at all. What do you do about that? He's a TD. He got elected last election. I didn't. I'd be pointing out them not investigating crimes and I'd be following up a few cases. I'd ask people to contact me that was the victim of crimes and we'd try and see what happened. non-investigating crimes. I know it from Scenes of Crime Examiner, recently retired. Not like when I was in the Guards at all. Mr. Carnegie said he was unhappy with the suspended sentence. There was an opportunity to deal with it, but the courts didn't, he said. And they won't again either. Why don't you appoint proper judges? Who was the judge? Only he must have been a solicitor or something. And they'll side with every migrant. I was above in the High Court. We had an environmental civil case, and I had a queue up behind about 40 well, at least 10 migrants. Illegals coming there, and the court's looking after them. If you're going to stamp it out, there needs to be an example set, and that hasn't happened. Where's the deterrence, he added. There is none. But Mr. Carnegie, you not worried when it's someone else gets hurted, or someone else gets abused. Doesn't bother you then. Only when it comes to your own door. And the same with Simon Harris. Ew, don't touch us like. But it's all right, go down there and wallop the plebs. I served in the Guards. You want to see the people that put over us. That take office people out of Dublin and other places and put them in charge of busy detectives and busy people and getting in the way and refusing to pay your claims and everything. Don't talk to me about your stupid villains. And putting people in big jobs that wasn't fit. And you wanted a warrant signed by the super to go to search for stolen goods. Some of them, not them all, some of them wouldn't give it to you, or they'd be talking on the phone about their cats and dogs. And by the time you get the warrant signed, the criminals will be gone. It's going to keep continuing and continuing because there is no consequence for it. Mr. Carnegie pointed out that the same man who had got a suspended sentence for abusing him and his family also received a suspended sentence for similar abuse against Mary Butler, the Fianna Fáil Junior Minister for Mental Health from Waterford and Government Chief Whip. So he was abusing her. He's a fairly serial abuser, isn't he? It's fairly serious. It doesn't matter. This is Ireland. You can abuse all you like. It doesn't matter. And you can imagine what he's doing if this fella has friends and family, or if he's your neighbour. He could be giving you dog's abuse, and what are you going to do about it? You needn't be going to the courts. Who's the law? Mr. Harris and Mr. Carnegie and this Mary Butler. They're the ones who are making the law. And then when it doesn't work for them, they're whinging. Mr. Carnegie has also expressed frustration at how long the trial process took. In England, it's taken a year to get a trial to court, if there's a jury. Gone to hell. Speaking on the day Larkin was sentenced, he said, 5 sittings later, it was only today that he was charged and the sentence was passed. I don't think that was particularly acceptable. Well, it's not acceptable because the system's overloaded. Haven't you brought in Mr. Carnegie and Mr. Harris and Miss Butler? Thousands and thousands of migrants, probably a million migrants, from countries where there's neither law nor order, some of them possibly out of jail for rape and plunder and murder. And you let them in here with no vetting. So, you did it. The people that were targeted were my own children. Do you think anyone else's children is worthless? Are you trying to say that your own children are the most valuable and everyone else can go to hell? Is that what you're saying, Mr. Carnegie? Were my own children. I've had to tell them all at all times when I was attending court of what was happening. When your children ask you why is this still going on, that's difficult to explain. Of course it is difficult. I think the court service needs to deal with cases more swiftly, particularly where there was a threat against my kids who were also victims. I don't think any victim should have to go through that. It's important that victims are front and centre, and sometimes victims get lost. You need to remember the victims. The victims. That definitely needs to change. Well, the way it is now in Ireland, If you fly your national flag, the council will come and pull it down. If you protest with your flag, you'll probably be baton charged. So the victims are no longer the people they used to be. Used to be the criminals were the victims. Now it's the people who are Irish that's the victims. But they are voting for Carrigy and Harris. And that's the bottom line. That's why we get this situation. You vote for idiots. They find that their own circumstances is a result of their poor government, and they go whinging. Larkin was handed a second suspended sentence after pleading guilty to sending grossly offensive messages to a junior minister butler. I mean, there was a case against him, even if he only did 3 months. There's no prisons. Prisons is packed. Taoiseach Michael Martin said yesterday that threats to people in public life were unacceptable. Well, he's breaking the law, you see, on the SEA directive, so. Unacceptable. What does it matter what's acceptable? Why doesn't the law work? I condemn unreservedly. Oh, he learned a big word, unreservedly. That'll... Do you know that a lot of his Fianna Fáil voters won't know what the word unreservedly is? They think it's a thing for snigging turnips. That's how thick some of them are. The abhorrent threats made to tarnish the Simon Harris and his... Now this is Michael Martin, the Fianna Fáil Taoiseach. You'd think he'd be against the Fine Gael, long ago to be at each other's throats. Had strong chilling effects, with 45% of the Oireachtas members saying they avoided specific policies because of harassment. Now, he says there, just read that again, 45% of Oireachtas members saying they avoided specific policies because of harassment. At least there'll be the heat other than might maybe make them do something. It's the fella said if that's the only reason, it'd still be a good enough reason to get them to stop their corruption and the destruction of our country. And 89% of TDs and senators and nearly 3/4 of their staff said they had felt anxious and afraid because of the abuse. Well, if I had to get elected, I wouldn't be afraid. I'd have me shillelagh under me arm and me twinkle in me eye, and I'd be off to Leinster House in the morning, and anyone that wanted to take me on out on the street. It wouldn't bother me, not one bit. Only I'd be afraid of losing a tooth. A further 73% of Oireachtas members experience abuse on social media frequently. Well, is this abuse? Have you do you not come on and debate it with a farmer with cows? I mean, they bought City West for migrants for 60 million. That's what he won. Anyway, another just little piece here. A 14-year-old campaigner yesterday met Taoiseach Simon Harris to discuss the issue of children's waiting lists. The former health minister is already under pressure following the death of scoliosis sufferer, that's a curvature of the spine, sufferer Harvey Morrison Sherritt. The 9-year-old died in July after waiting years for surgery, and his family have called for Mr. Harris to resign. Well, you see, his family, by the way, my condolences to you. I'm very, very sorry to think that boy's life could be saved and they killed him. And that's what the Irish state will do. And I'll tell you, you villains that's voting Fianna Fáil and Fine Gael and Sinn Féin, your day will come, you'll go into a nursing home and they'll batter yous round the place. They'll take everything yous have. And you'll be treated like a dog. And that's what yous deserve. Because yous had a vote, yous had a right to have a humane society, and you said no. Oh, I get the pothole fixed down the lane. To resign. This fella could have made the conditions available for that chap to get looked about, and that he didn't do it. And look what they did to him. They made him the Taoiseach. He's the head of Fine Gael. The Taoiseach has said he personally intervened in Harvey's case. Oh, what was the result? He was a minister. If it was some old lad getting the pension, he'd get it from. that was refused a pension. Oh, I interviewed their government. Did he follow it up? As Health Minister in 2017, Mr. Harris had promised no child would wait longer than 4 months for spinal surgery. He promised it. He never meant a word of it, and he never delivered on any of it, and people have died. Doesn't matter to the voter. Be God and vote. Fine Gael. Oh, the president. Who's Fine Gael? The big one. A big number one. Ahead of meeting Mr. Harris, teenager Cara Dermody from Ardfinnan, County Tipperary, said it was time for action on children with additional needs. An assessment of needs is carried out to identify if a child or young person has a disability and is designed to identify their health needs as well as service requirements. Once the HSE received an application, there is a legal requirement on them to have it completed within 6 months. Kira said that just 7% of them are being completed on time. It's terrible what is going on in this country after the meeting with Mr. Harris. But look at folks, right, you can have waiting lists, there can be this, that and the other. Your auntie's hip might need doing, her knee or a big toe or whatever. But a child that's in danger of dying, that's the Republic of Ireland. They can't build a children's hospital. It's not really the fault of this Carrigy idiot or this Simon Harris or any of the rest of them. It's the people that vote for them. Why didn't Carrigy get on to Harris? Why didn't he intervene? A child was dying. A child was dying in the Republic of Ireland in 2022 or something. 23. I rest my case. I'm available to be interviewed. I'm available to meet you TDs, Mr. Carrigy, those ones there, Simon Harris. You won't meet me because you know I'd wipe the floor with you. The people in a way did speak. In the last election they didn't give them a majority. And 8 independent TDs supported them. And someone has posted on my video, you shouldn't blame Karen Nolan. She gave her support to government with no price at all on the major issues that affect their country. So when the Irish people voted for these independents, they thought they were going to get something done. You might as well be voting for Mr. Carrigy or Mr. Harris or this other Butler one or any of the rest of them, or Micheál Martin or any of the rest, or Brendan Smith or Niamh Smith or anything else. They behaved as if they were government members. That's the fact of the matter. We'll see you back for something else. Goodbye.